Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. As I said in my last video, we're waiting until December 7th, which is today, 2023, to figure out what we're doing with this design. I did say, hey, let me know what you think, what should I do, cast a vote, and we'll go with that. Didn't get anything, got one comment, really happy, and nobody commented on what I should do. So basically we're going to go with what I want to do. I do want to mention we've had 9 new subscribers. I'm very happy with that. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you're new to the channel or you keep coming back to the channel and you're not subscribed, please do so. It does help with the visibility of this. I'm very happy to say I've got one video that's 370 some odd views. Very excited about that. Hopefully we can get that up over 400. A lot of my other videos have hit stuff, and I'm just over the top on with excitement on how well the channel's going. So thank you all for coming back. Thank you all for viewing this and seeing what the content is about. So getting on to this, what I have decided is I like everything a little smoother and rounded. I have added a piece here to smooth that out. We've added a piece over here to smooth this out a little bit. Change the tip. I didn't want to shorten it. As I drew in the other video, I shortened it about to here. So I extended that out. All I'm doing is taping on extra pieces. That's all it is. Drew some lines in of where I'm going to make cuts, and we're going to make this nice and smooth. So we're going to go ahead and get on to that. I've got a nice sharp blade. That's really important. And I've been a painter. I've done pinstriping, stuff like that. And I got really good with being able to cut with a blade and how to do it. If you're not that comfortable, by all means, please use templates. There's all sorts of nice plastic ones out there you can use to follow lines, make lines, that kind of stuff. So don't be afraid to, don't feel like you're not doing as much if you're not freehanding something. Don't worry about it. Use templates. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to go ahead and start cuts. So I'm just going to come along just like this, slowly turning and then meeting up and off. And we got a nice clean cut there. I'm going to do the same to the tail, and I come in from off of here, around this. And it doesn't matter if you really follow the line or not. You want to just get really close. You notice I drag my hand on the bottom, and I'm holding my template down as I go. And we're just trimming off little bits and pieces. Get them all out of the way. This is probably my favorite. I love the look of that. So, we're coming along, follow that line, and then just swoop it down. Again, holding that template with the hand as we go. And remember, you don't have to truly follow the line that you've drawn. You can use it as a guideline and just make a nice smooth cut. When you make a nice smooth cut, everything works really well. Alright, so this is the tougher one here. I contemplated, now I'm looking at, I could actually put a piece in here to just keep this line and smooth it. Or I can make it swoop back, and I actually like it swooping back. So we're going to go ahead and make this cut. So I'm coming around just like this. Now if you didn't feel like you could follow these lines, by all means use a ruler. I'm going trim a little off that end. Boom, just like that. And this is what our airframe is going to look like. Very happy about it, very excited. As you see here, I've got these cutouts here. And what these are is actually the areas that will not be cut out. I've marked in here so that basically I can see where the split is on each one, so I can transfer that. So I'll make the box and put an X through it on the pattern to say do not cut this, cut the other one. Very, very important. I've also gone through, taken my X-Acto blade, gone to the point of this and created a hole. You may or may not get to see that. Just basically pushed it through and spun, basically making a hole in these two spots, big enough to put a pencil mark in. That's going to help me reference this. I can make a mark on the pattern on this side and then transfer it over, so when I cut it out I know that this is the line. But I need a reference point from here to here to create this line and to create this line. So that's what's there. We're going to go ahead and transfer this onto a piece of foam now. I just got myself a whole box of the Ready board from the Dollar Tree store. And as you can see, our frame works just fine there. We're going to put one this way. We're going to flip it over and create the other piece. We're going to get two pieces out of it. So I like the mechanical pencils myself. One of the things I like to do is weight down my pattern, make sure it's nice and smooth, weight it down, and now all I have to do is press in certain areas to trace it out. So we'll start with the outer frame, and I like to go back and forth sometimes to make sure that that line is nice and dark to read, and we just trace around the pattern, nice and easy. Sorry if this tip is off camera. We're just tracing along, nothing major. And like I've said before, we try to use the straight edges of the foam board where we can. That way we don't have to make that straight cut. On this, unfortunately, there's not really anything, especially now that we've done the tail a little more smooth like this. There's no straight edges, so we're just going to trace around. When you do use a mechanical pencil, try not to do too much up and down. Straight up and down, you can poke through the paper. Not that it's a bad thing, you're going to trim it out anyways. And then, like I said, we come in here and we mark this off. Just helps give us a reference of where everything is. And it doesn't matter if our cuts, like some of my cuts here weren't exactly perfect. That's fine, because I'm going to come in with a ruler and I'm going to remark all this kind of stuff to make it easy. Now, we come into those little points, we make a mark and a mark, and then of course we need to make this mark right here. Don't have any other surfaces, so we're good to go. So we'll take this off, we'll move this, and I'm going to come over here and make sure that that mark's there. See, we've got our points, so that's going to help reference this, this, and that, and everything's good there. We're going to take our pattern. Now, since we don't have to worry about rights and lefts with this, we can just come in, lay this in, and try not to waste too much. Get a close, but not too close. I don't want to share lines because we have no straight lines, so I don't want to share any lines in there. And we'll put our weights back down. I'm happy with that. Smooth this out. Put our other weight down. And then we repeat the process. We go through and, again, pressing our pattern down where we're drawing is really, really important. You don't want it to lift. It's not going to give you a true pattern if you end up going underneath that pattern. And it's real simple, real quick. Just follow our pattern. Come on down here. Make sure we get this nice clean lines. And you see how quickly this goes. It's a real easy, quick way to trace our pattern, which is what we're looking for. Just nice and clean. Following down with our finger. Coming up and over. Down through here. And just double checking. Alright, then we come in marking this out. Our little openings, which won't be cut out, obviously. As we stated before, this is for reference. You could do it the other way and then measure and split that. That's absolutely fine too. I like to make sure that I'm happy with where everything is. I can always make changes. And then we're coming back, we're making our reference mark and marking our two little holes. And there we go. We have our two patterns ready to be cut out, set to go. Everything's looking great. I will be cutting these out and then peeling all the paper off. That's really going to cut about 50 grams worth of weight off this whole model. So it's going to be really, really nice. We are going to do the wings, and we're going to give them that nice curvature, which will give it a lot of float, hopefully. That's the idea. A lot of sailplanes, gliders, stuff like that have got that concave kind of a wing, and that's just going to create more lift. Now, it's not going to fly really, really fast, but that's not what we're after here. We're going after a nice little slow flyer, something to kind of hit up. I've also decided to make a change in the wing. We're still going to be as long as it is in the prototype, but we're going to add some polydihedral by adding some extra dihedral and tips on the ends. And since we're running it all curved and whatnot here, instead of taking the square and curving that, we're going to add on that piece and we're going to curve that piece. And I'm going to be able to take that piece and create more of a tip kind of an action like what's going on here. That'll help with the continuity of the whole model. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a flat-ish piece. We'll cross that bridge when we get to there, and we'll cross it together because I will, of course, make a video on that whole thing. One last thing I want to show. So from here, I need to connect this up to make that little pattern. So I'm matching that hole up with the end there, just like that. And we're going to make our line there. And then we've got this hole marked to that hole, get it lined up real nice. We're going to come in and we're going to make that line just like this. You can see, oh, it's not just a hair. And then do the same over here. Mark the top of that hole, mark spot with that. And we're going to make a line across there. And there we go. Now we've got our surface ready to go. So we can cut this out. We'll have this ready to cut when we get to that point to cut it. Well, that is it for this. I'm not going to cut these out on this video. We will cut these out, and then we'll go on and do the wing and cut the wing out in the next video. And we'll show everything that we do with keeping one side just the way it is, the other side here. What's beautiful about it is once we do that and we put our marks in for where our little feet are going in, which is what this is, these little marks. Mind you, one will go to the top, the other one will go to the bottom. They key into each other and key into the hole, and I think that makes a very strong joint. Some people will take this and split it down the middle. It'll still key in the same way. It does allow you to glue that joint in there. I don't usually find it to be a problem with this split. I put the top in first, glue that top in, and then when I go to glue the bottom, it allows me to take and glue over the top feet, which I think makes a good little joint. I can also drop glue down in and get this foot in here, the bottom one, glued in nice and clean too. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Again, this is just the way I do things. There is no real right or wrong way to do anything. I'm just showing you the way that I like to do stuff. So, Christmas is coming up, folks. I want to retouch again on the hobby and how we need new fresh blood in, and this is a great hobby for kids. We just need to get them involved in it. Obviously, I put a video on the gift that I got for my nephew's son, who's interested in it, and I'm very excited to get him into his first RC plane and get him into the hobby. He's had RC cars before, but this is a new thing for him with flight. I do have a little preview. Christmas came and everybody asked me, "What do you want? What do you want?" And so I mentioned that I wanted a Twisted Hobbies plane, a foamy that I can fly out, learn some 3D flying. It's exciting to me. I like it. I like the fact that it can slow fly, it can fast fly, it can do just everything that you ask it to do. So I do have a Twisted Hobbies plane coming to me this Christmas. Again, very excited about that coming, and I will be doing a build video on it, but I'm going to get it. I will do a video of the unboxing of that, showing everybody all the parts and everything. But then I need to get servos, and I think we're going to use the motor and the ESC out of the Piper Cub to power that plane. The motor's right within what they're looking for. They put a 1500 kV motor in it. I'll put an 1800 kV motor in it. There's not a huge difference in that. I will need to get with the props that they suggest, which is a 9 by 4.7, basically a 9.5. I could get a 9 4.5. I'm sure will be just fine for that. But I do need to get the servos, and well, most of the time I go and I get these inexpensive 9-gram plastic geared servos for this plane, because it does get a lot of torque and tweak when you're 3D flying. I am going to go ahead and get the digital metal gear ones, and for the Twisted Hobby they suggest 2 9-gram metal gear. That is for the tail surface controls for those, and then you have one servo that works your aileron or your ailerons. Sorry about that. And that one is a 14-gram servo metal gear. So they beef it up because it's really thick EPP foam. And so you've got a lot of control surface that you're moving there, and with it being one servo controlling both and not individual servos, they suggest a bigger one. The beauty of this, it's a 32-inch wingspan, um, is that with everything and the battery that they suggest, which is 2 cells, which hey, you can get a 2-cell lipo really inexpensive. Even at 650 milliamp hours or an 800, the whole thing still ends up being under the 250 gram mark. That's for a 32-inch wingspan, and I find that really, really great. Something that I don't have to get remote ID. I can fly it out in my street. I can fly it out in a parking lot. I can go to a park that has very little area and fly it around because it doesn't need much area. And that's a 32-inch wingspan, which is really, really great. I can also go to a larger field and fly it around and do stuff. So I'm definitely happy about that. They fly decent in a decent amount of wind. Obviously, if we've got 15, 20 mile an hour wind with gusts even more than that, it's not a good flying day. Um, but with all the winds and stuff that we've had out here, even if I just want to fly it out in the street, that it's going to be great for that. I live in a cul-de-sac, so that gives me lots of space to maneuver around, and I don't have to worry if cars come. I just elevate it above the cars and then can bring it back down. So, like I said, I'm excited about that. I can get some extra batteries. I've got quite a bit of 2 cells. I think I've got the 400 milliamp hour. So I'll probably get a 3-minute flight out of it, or maybe even 4 versus a 5-minute flight with the other ones. But we're having fun. We're going to do that kind of thing. I did think possibly to take the erratics that I have and just rob all the parts off that and put it on the Twisted Hobbies. I'm not stating which one I got. I want it to be a surprise for everybody. But I could do that very, very easily and have it fly where it needs to. It's literally got all the specs from the servos and everything. I can save myself some money that way, and then go from there. So I may fly the erratics before I rob everything. Matter of fact, I probably will. If I decide to rob the erratics of all its guts, as it were, we'll definitely take it out for a flight. Because at that point, hey, if it crashes and breaks and everything else, we'll take it back, we'll fix it, but we'll take all the stuff out and move it on to the next thing, and we'll just have the nice airframe. We may go back to it on a different date, but so that's where we're at. Don't let the FAA bully you. If you can't afford to get that remote ID, hey, one of the things I have shown here is this is a big airframe, and we're doing 30-inch plus whatever I add on. If I do another 6 to 8 inches on the side winglets that we're going to put on this, then we're looking at 40, 30, 36, so about a 3.5 foot wingspan, which that's big. That's a good size right there. That's adding another foot on to what we have here, and that will still be, because we're taking the paper off, it'll still be under 250 grams, which is a great size for a plane and a good weight, and we'll be able to have a lot of fun with it. That's the exciting part of this, is keeping under that weight and still being able to go out and enjoy a good size scale plane. Obviously, a smaller plane is a little harder to control, especially in wind. A larger plane with a larger wingspan flies better. It's a lot easier to control. Looks better in my opinion. And it's easier to see, especially if you're doing line of sight like I do. Um, I know a lot of people are getting into the FPV lately, and it's a neat thing. It's a nice way uh, to move forward if you've been in the hobby for a long, long time. I definitely don't suggest jumping straight into FPV. Do line of sight, get used to the controls and everything else. Obviously, FPV is going to be easier with the controls because you're in the plane, and if you push down, the plane goes down. So if you fly inverted, you can see what's going on, and it's easier to control that way. But what it doesn't teach you is how to deal with obstacles and things like that. Definitely line of flight for your first planes, I think, is a great way to go. It teaches you really how to think like you're in the cockpit, that and how to do different things, So plus FPV is expensive, you know. You're gonna pay anywhere from, I've seen the cameras as cheap as $40 on up to $200 for just the little camera. And then you need a lot of them need the sending unit, so you got to buy that, and then the goggles, and the goggles can run cheap ones, $150, $200, all the way up to $1,000. Um, so just in that, even going the cheapest out there, you're still looking probably somewhere near $450, $500 just an FPV gear, which you then have to put in, mind you, to your plane. And if you're trying to stay under that 250 grams, well, that FPV gear can really add weight. I mean, they're smaller, but if you're trying to push the envelope and get the most out of your build plane at 250 grams, even adding a 2.5 gram camera and a 3 gram, or let's just say another 2.5 gram sending board, plus an antenna, mind you, uh, that's 5 to 10 grams that you are adding into the plane, and you have to be careful about the weight. So 5-10 grams could be something like adding some more milliamp hours to the battery, getting a little heavier battery. These are the things to look at when you're doing this kind of stuff. Even doing something in this as doing a thinner wire versus a thicker wire. Now, a thicker wire obviously is not going to be as flexible and bend, but it's going to be a lot more weight. So you can add some really light things like zip tie loops, like I've shown, which weigh hardly anything. And you can use that as a guide to keep that wire from bending. Really depends on what you're doing, mind you. You can also go with taking carbon fiber rods, which is going to be a lot lighter, and just adding on Z-bends on the ends. So sorry about that. I should have turned my notifications off. It's on a few of my videos. I get excited about making a video and I jump in with forgetting to turn down or off my notifications. But that's enough for the rant for today. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. You see what I've done here. You can do this. So go make it. You can do it. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day. Hopefully you're all enjoying the holidays and not getting too crazy or too road ragey out there. And we'll see you all on the next video.